Building a Colt Super Walker Revolver from a Kit. Part 2, Finishing. I am the author of Extreme Muzzleloading, and here is one of my interesting gun modification projects.
I'm Hovey Smith, the corresponding editor for the Gun Digest, who covers black powder guns. And this is part 2 of making a Super Colt Walker Revolver. And we have sent it away to Master Gunsmith Dykes Reber in North Little Rock, Arkansas, to have some modifications made to the gun, which I'll show you in a little bit. In the meantime, while that gun was away, I went ahead and polished the brass frame. And I'll have a couple of still pictures that'll show you something of the process.
Here I am working down the grips with file and sandpaper with a final finish with a very fine emery grit.
As well as rough fitted the wooden grips. Now these grips were quite rough indeed when I received them, and they're now smoother, but I still need to do the final fitting of the grips to the frame of the gun. All right? Now the work Mr. Reaver did is he installed his own design of Weaver sight bases on the gun. As this is to be a hunting gun, I am going to use various optical sights on it. He also installed a new loading lever design, which is now disassembled. And here is a little part that actually fits here in this notch. What this design will do will cure a perpetual problem with the Walker revolver. And that was when you shot it, this loading lever would go into a chamber and actually tie up the gun. Yeah, I had owned a couple of Walkers before and had the same problem with both pistols. So now what the next stages are to final fit the brass and the wooden parts to the gun, as well as completely disassemble it in order to send it to H&M Metal Processing of Akron, Ohio, who are going to put a black nitride finish on it.
Here is a closer look at Dyke Reaver's modification of the Walker pistol.
I'm now going to completely disassemble the gun. When disassembling a Walker or any other revolver of the Colt pattern, the first thing you want to do is to make sure you have screwdrivers that actually fit. And that one did not. Okay, this one will. Okay. I'm taking out the screw now that actually retains the barrel wedge. Alright. Big little fellow there. Okay, now the wedge comes out. Should pull, okay. Put it on a little half cock there. And now that slips the barrel off and the cylinder is out. Wow. Now that's a pretty big hunk of metal there just on the frame. It comes out. Take this one off. Okay. Clunk, clunk. Alright, making progress. Now because this base is actually aluminum, it will not be coated, but the screws will. Four. Okay. All right. So we have some parts. Okay. So these can now go into a little plastic bag here so these small parts don't get lost. still have a pin and spring to remove from that, which we'll drive out. So this will go as a unit right now, but I'm going to put the rest of the frame on it and the grips so I can do the final fitting of those parts. With the Colt Walker, as with all Colt revolvers, there are 3 different sizes of screws that go in here. The shorter length screw goes here. Then 2 of these longer shank screws go here. The grip slide on. And 2 of the longer shank screws go in the rear. There were some burrs right here around these screws, and so a few strokes of an emery stone smooth those off, and now the screw should go in much easier. We have the grips back on the frame now, and I'm taking the rasp and actually moving wood to file the grips down to about the same level as the metal itself. Moving just a little bit at a time. There are already a few minor scratches on the back straps. Well, there's not too much worry about that, because first off, this is going to be matte finished anyway, and we will do a final polish on both the grips and the frames with some very fine emery. So that will help remove some of that and get it down to a more uniform finish. Because very little of these grips is actually planar, almost all the reduction work has been done using this rasp to date. So we have smoothed the grips down till they are more or less on the profile of the frame, all except now for the bottom part, and we'll use this sander to work these flat planes here and reduce them. As you can see, the wood is, say about 1/8 of an inch proud over the top of the base there. So we're going to try to remove that much and have it as planar as we can keep it. We've got the grips almost like we want them. I'm going to leave them a little on the thick side just to help soak up the recoil, quite frankly. And so we're going to start this sander, and I'll show you just a few seconds of that. When you get the pistol this far down, or you're fitting wood to metal to anything, yeah, you work it down as fine as you can in your rasp, and then you actually sand the wood and the metal together. And that's how you achieve that good fit. There's just no other way to do it, guys. Now this pistol is going to be matte coated anyway, so the scratches I'm getting on the metal, they are not really significant. You'll never see them. Okay, now that is starting to look and feel pretty good.
The finishing stages on the grips are rasping the grips down to rough shape, then sanding with progressively finer papers, walnut staining, and finally putting on several coats of oil finish.
With part 2 of our construction of the Super Walker Revolver, we have made progress. We have our frame and our grip actually fitted to the pistol and very largely finished. So I'll put a few coats of finish on this just to seal it, but yeah, now that's a nicely shaped grip. And we have the pistol itself packaged up and ready to send off for its nitride finish. So for now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe. Goodbye, God bless, and see you next time.
I have a series of prize-winning books including extreme muzzleloading, backyard deer hunting, crossbow hunting, and practical bow fishing, and all of these are available as softcover and ebooks. I have an 8-book ebook series coming out in 2013-14, and one on hunting with muzzleloading revolvers that will feature this pistol will be out in 2014. Master gunsmith Dykes Reaver specializes in working on muzzleloading guns out of his shop in North Little Rock, Arkansas. For information on H&M metal processing for a nitride finish on your gun, you can check out their website. For information on my books, products, and videos, you can go to my website at www.hoveysmith.com. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye, and God bless.